What's the buzz? This is Zeta Beetle, and welcome back to TGIF. Well, what do we have here? An opportunity to review the Battle Pass for the first time in ages? I do believe we can. So, let's get into it. Unfortunately, due to what you can see on the top right corner of the screen, I won't be able to buy it yet. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm gonna be perfectly straight with you guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep the audio on this one. So, we'll see. This may be the first part of 2, or it could be the second part of 2. You never know. But, let's get right into the trailer, reaction. Imagine being foiled by Tetris. Alright. Oh, hey, Sonic. Oh, that's the Green Hill Zone. Okay. Cool. I believe that's the first level in most Sonic games. Alright. Now, what do we have here? That was Pac-Man. Alright. Kinda looks like Street Fighter here. Well, imagine getting one shot by a pickaxe. Back in the last season, with the King Sprite equipped, you could do like 120 damage per strike, which is quite impressive. Alright. Uh-oh. Yikes. There we go. Alright, let's get into it. So the first one is Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, the Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sega games of the same name. This blue blur is the fastest hedgehog alive. Pretty cool. I like it. I don't really mind the collabs as much as everyone else does. Alright. So, what else can I say about him? Okay. Let's move on to Gotta Go Fast. That's a Sonic X reference. I appreciate that. I love that. Gotta Go Fast is featured prominently in the intro of Sonic X. So, yeah. That is, alright. Then we have Green Hill Race. That's the Green Hill Zone. Again, I think it's usually the first level of the Sonic games. But don't quote me on that one, because I don't know for sure. But either way, it's definitely a level in the Sonic games, for a fact. Alright. And then we have the Blue Streak, a guitar. I really like it. It can also be a pickaxe and a back bling, just like any other guitar. And one of the main reasons that I can think of for that is the Fret Basher. But now we have Sketchhog. That's pretty cute. It's a cutely drawn Sonic the Hedgehog with no color. Then we have Sonic Ring. Wait, is that is that a pickaxe? That is the first pickaxe that doesn't look like a sword or a nunchuck or anything else like that. It's literally just a ring. All right, what happens if I? Oh my gosh! The effort that they put into that's crazy. Backup ring portal. So that is based on the movies where they can literally make a portal to anywhere with one of those rings. I like that. I don't know if that's also featured in the games. Oh my gosh. Tails is actually a sidekick in this one. Wow. Okay. So I guess he did actually kind of spoil it. Oh well. I didn't really believe him, so it kind of did still take me by surprise. Oh. You can view the rewards from the sidekick quest for him, huh? And then we have the Tails pad. I wouldn't be too surprised about him giving us that back bling, because he is very technologically advanced. Like, he's literally made a plane in Sonic games. Then we have the Tails spanner, a wrench, the engineer's best friend in most cases, and then we have the Tails lander. Okay, that is seriously impressive, for a glider. That is seriously, one of the most impressive gliders I've seen. I appreciate the reference here, with the spinning tails and all that. Alright. Then we have Tails Tech. Another very fitting rap. And you know what we do when we go to our first rap? We check out the guns that can show up in the season, although that's never really changed from season to season anymore. So we've got the Scar, and this is the pump shotgun. Technically both are showing up in this season. Then we have the suppressed SMG, which is basically stayed the same since a few seasons ago. That's the heavy sniper. That's an unidentified pistol. And that's the RPG. And it's back to the Scar. Alright. Then we have some V-Bucks and Go Supersonic. Oh, they actually put in a built-in transformation. Oh, that's cool. I seriously doubt that every perk from Supersonic applies here, because everyone gets nerfed on this island. But still, it's a nice cosmetic. Oh, simple torched. Oh my gosh, is this Minecraft? Okay. So, wood and flint? I think you've got your wires crossed on that one. Because I'm no genius. But I vividly remember that, torches are, distinctly, sticks and coal. I think you got your wires crossed on that one. Or it could just be an attempt to not plagiarize the source material, which I'd respect. Still though, I like that. Then we have the Blocky Dropper. That is very clearly Skyblock, or the Sky Island challenge from Stampy. You be the judge. Anyway, that is quite impressive. That also could be Sky Wars? Wait, am I reading that right? Anyway, Rixel's Contraption. Always trust a tinkerer. Okay. Let's look at this. Why do you have dynamite taped to a pickaxe? That don't look safe. That don't look safe at all. But innovation is there with him. And haze? What? Okay. That's weird. Okay, so now we have this. We could... Okay, Cuddle Team Leader. Alright. Oh, it's Rixel. Okay. I didn't know that. Oh. Excuse me. Goodness. Alright. All these... Okay. I don't really have a lot of time to go through all this in this battle pass reaction. Maybe I'll do a follow-up if this video gets a lot of likes to look specifically at the Rixel stuff. But then we have item block. This seems to be based on the Lucky Block mods, which is actually a reference that I enjoy as well. Then we have Game Over. That has shown up in a lot of screens, mostly in earlier games, but there might be some in more modern games as well. Anyway, many Mario games had that too. At least as far forward as I think Super Mario Galaxy 2. But I could be wrong. Then we have 8-bit retros. Oops. I keep forgetting that you have to view them in order to turn them around like this. These are the first square-shaped kicks that I have seen. That's pretty cool. Very nice indeed. And now we have Blocky. Wait. Is this Tetris or Minecraft? Methinks this page doesn't know what it wants to be. Okay. That is something else. Okay. Still, I like both, so that kind of checks out. And then we have Build It. I'm staying silent so that I can appreciate most of it. And it's just looped, so let's go on ahead to Halsey. I'm drawing a blank, but I know she featured in a Chapter 4 Battle Pass. I just don't know which one. Maybe it was Chapter 4 Season 1, but I have no earthly idea. I am so sorry if I got that wrong, but it's been so long ago. Anyway, let's move on to Phantom Energy. It's another rap, and I do like the red and black. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, I keep forgetting that I have to view the reward in order to turn it around. But, yeah. That's how long my memory stretches. Then we have Clutched. That's me whenever I win a match of Build Battle Royale. Especially nowadays, since Zero Build got some incredibly positive quality of life upgrades. Then we have the Phantom Hatchet. It's the same black and red that that follows the rest of the set, and I really like it for that. Very nice. I think I'm going to appreciate this guy quite a bit. But that's kind of beside the point. He is the Phantom Hatchet. It's one of those. Okay, then we have Rat-a-tat. Excuse me. Okay. So, and that's basically a automatic weapon, and then a Valor Team Tactical Pack. Okay, let's look at this. That kind of looks like a ballistic shield. Just really, really tiny. Like, you can see the gun on the left and the... Okay. Is it one of those pickaxes that you can take out of the back bling? Then we have the Phantom himself. He's the same black and red as the rest of the set. I really like his appearance. Like, it's really cool. Then we have Arctic Phantom Hatchet. Okay, now this really seals it. Arctic Camo is one of the most beautiful. Then we have the banner icon featuring something that looks like a dragon. I dig it. And then we have the Arctic Stealth Tactical Pack, which is the Arctic Camo version of the ballistic shield we just saw. Very pretty. Then we have No Rats. This guy is either pesticide or pest control or just really hates rats. And then we have the Arctic Stealth Phantom. Not much else to say here except just he goes really well with that Arctic Camo theme. Really like that. Then we have Mali's Challenge. Okay. So it's a synchronized emote. I like that. Yeah. Very cool. Then we have King of the Serpents. Okay. So this kind of looks like a Chinese dragon, except without limbs. I know there are dragons without limbs in real mythology. I just don't know. Okay. And then we have the 16-bit showdown. I believe that happens to be the Super Nintendo. Entertainment system. Also just called the Super Nintendo. I am very old. I actually managed to play on both the original Nintendo Entertainment System and the Super Nintendo. So that's all sorts of fun. Then we have the Serpent Strikers. Kind of look like gloves? Glove pickaxe? Huh. Okay. Interesting. Then we have the Meowscles Training Bust. Test your might. The more and more that I see in this set, the more and more that I can see that they're going for a Street Fighter vibe here. And then we have Mali. I don't know if she's from the actual Street Fighter games, or if she's based on a character from them. But that's mostly because I haven't played very many Street Fighter games. I've only really played 2 that I know of. I could never really get into them though. I could never really yeah. Then we have the Slappy Serpent Strikers. Isn't Slap usually orange, though? Huh. That's very interesting. Then we have the Serpent Diver, which is a contrail. Very fitting for her, because she has that serpentine theme. Very, very nice. Then we have the Slappy Meowscles bust. Again, I can't really help but wonder if they've got their colors wrong here. Because Slappy is usually orange, unless they've changed it. Still, blue is a good color. Blue is a very good color for practically anything, really. Just as long as it's not as bright as one of those wraps in in Apex Legends. Ugh. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool, actually. Then we have Slappy Slurp Waters Mally. Ah, so it's both of them. It's both the orange of the slap and the blue of the slurp. Got it. Got it. I jump to conclusions sometimes. Bite me. Anyway, we've got Seeker's Sword and Shield. And, hold on. A sword and shield. That reminds me of a certain green-clad hero. Okay. Well, let's look into this. Into the temple. That matches too. At least in later games of the series. In some earlier games, it was called. They were called palaces to differentiate and potentially keep the religious community from pushing back against them. Either way, though, now we've got Bastion's Critical. Now this is a little bit interesting. This kind of reminds me of either Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy. Then we have Seeker's Soarer. I don't know. I don't know enough about this to really make my final judgment call here. But in more recent Legend of Zelda games, you do get a glider similar to that. Bastion's Cloak. The blue is a kind of a mismatch, as is that eye patch there. But I don't know. Like, I think it's probably a way to keep from plagiarizing, because Nintendo is notoriously ferocious in protecting their intellectual property. So now we have Bastion. Okay. There's a lot of bravery and skill involved in catching a sword by its blade. That is crazy. This guy just... wow. I don't think, maybe Link has done this, but, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to Monster Smash. Okay. Well, some Legend of Zelda games do have that ability. Most notably, most recently, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have that scroll. Then we have the Oathmaker's Sword and Shield. That's almost black and purple, huh? That's very interesting. That's a very cool color combination too. Then we have the Midnight Cloak. I'm guessing this is supposed to be stealth ops or something? Special operations? Very nice. Then we have the banner icon, showing off the emblem on his cape. That's notable. That's very fitting. Then we have Midnight Oath Bastion. I don't know. He looks kind of like Shadow Link, but I'm not sure. Then we have Wind's Wheel. For when you're really angry. Oh, I like that pun. I appreciate that. Then we have, well, I don't know. Alright, there we go. We have boost rings next. That kinda looks like Rainbow Road, don't it? It's kinda like Mario Kart, but kind of the, okay. Then we have Rower. I like that. That's kinda cute. She's got that playful energy. Then we have the Kitty Kart Glider. She's definitely from a racing game. And that cart kind of makes me lean towards that Mario Kart. Excuse me. I don't know what's up with my throat today. Anyway. She is definitely from a racing game. That's all there is to it. I just don't know which. Then we have Buckle Up. Alright. Here it is time for a little bit of PSA. All you have to do is just to pull it over your shoulder and down to your side. If you don't buckle up, a ticket is the least of your worries. Then we have Kitty Wins. I like that. I like that she's cat themed. It's really cute. And we've got a little kitty cart. Oh, that is adorable. That's fitting for her, and that is absolutely the definition of adorable. I love that. So, yeah. Then we have Cart Booster. Oh. She boosted through the rings of, a Green Hill Zone. Or the Loop. Then we have the Neon Knight Victory Trophy. Alright. Then we have our first free V-Buck. And next we have... okay. Next we have the Neon Knight Winds Wheel. Black and pink are another cool color combination, and the light blue, the sky blue kind of. And to be honest, that's not the blue that I was talking about. The wrap in Apex Legends was far brighter than that. Then we have Neon Knight Kitty Wins. Like I said before, I like the color combination of this one. It really it fits for her nighttime style. And it's a really cool color combination. I really like her better with the helmet on though. Then we have Laser Infiltration. This girl is very clearly stealth themed. So that's pretty cool. Just kinda, yeah. Then we have the Serpentine Kit. Serpentine kind of makes me think of Metal Gear, but we've already had a Metal Gear collab, so that can't be it, can it? Then we have the serpentine wrap. Ooh. Alright. That green glow and the scales really combine to make a nice cool looking silhouette there, or whatever you wanted to call it. And that seems to be all the time we had for today. Join us in the next episode when we complete the Battle Pass reaction. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all next time. Until then, adios, amigos.